One of the questions we get asked the very most is, do you have a therapist you can recommend for me? And while we wish that we knew of therapists in every single place, in every single part of the country, we don't. So what do we tell them instead, Mel?
We say check out BetterHelp because it's online, it's at a reasonable price, and you can be matched with a therapist within 24 hours. I've also used them, and they have been great. And if you don't like your therapist, guess what? Click, and get a new one.
Absolutely. It's so hard when you have an in-person therapist, if you're not clicking with them, to cut them off and get a new one. So that's not an issue with BetterHelp. So we always tell people to try BetterHelp. And if you use our promo code, which is
trybetterhelp.com/WWDN,
you get 10% off your first month.
Go ahead and try it out. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. And you know what? I'm a big fan of doing therapy where you don't have to wear pants, but nobody knows about it.
Are you wearing pants right now, Mel?
I'll see you later. Bye. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. Anita.
Yes, Mel.
I think that was a really good conversation we had last week.
Thank you. I will just say we had so many people reach out in such a supportive way. And a lot of them, like, I didn't mean for it to be this big, I don't know, confession or not confession, declaration but I wasn't like, we're quitting. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't saying like, please tell us that we're relevant or else we're going to be done kind of a thing, So, but it was really nice to hear. I actually really loved to read a lot of things. I just got back into town, so I missed a lot of it as it was like unfolding. So I kind of got all of it at once, but that wasn't a bad thing. That was nice. So thank you.
I saw them as they came in. I knew you were at the camp thing, and I just kept thinking she's gonna love reading these when she gets back, and I hope that it helps you to understand that everybody is relevant no matter where they're at.
My favorite is my mom emailed us.
She was first.
Oh, was she?
Yes. Thanks, Anita's mom.
I'm like, hey, mom. Dearest Anita, you're a good kid.
One of the things that I thought was really cool and makes a lot of sense, and I agree, is one of our lovely emails that we got, the person referred to like the year of the death as the widows that I've met have been like the class of 2018.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, exactly that. And again, there were more comments in the Facebook group too, and people that did post. So thanks for those. And it was the same kind of thing. Like I know our friend Karen from Canada, who was the reason for us starting the Widow Wives Club, people of that time period when we started that, and then she got to know some of them. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's kind of like your little graduating class.
Like a cohort.
Yeah, a cohort. And it's like, okay, we've been in this area of study for 6 years. So yeah, thank you everybody, because that is helpful, I think, for us to understand it's not just about early grief only, but also the early grief people need people who are a little further out. And I think that those of us that are further out too, we need the early grief people so we can remember, oh yeah, let's not forget some of those things when we were in that time period and everything was just super raw and you can't even like breathe without everything being in pain.
Yeah. And we have the early part of us also documented so people can access the early years of us, which is sort of wild.
And a lot of people said that they would share the podcast with people who needed it, who may be in the same position, early grief, and they would start from the beginning, and that was helpful to kind of go through that journey with us. And thanks to those who have done that, first of all, for sharing, and second of all, for sticking it out through the first 16 or whatever episodes where we were in the same room and talking over each other. And the podcast, of course, editing and everything got better as we figured out how to do things more. And we isolate tracks now. Not that anyone cares, but it's kind of cool. It's like everything has evolved, like the way that we record stuff, the way that we talk about things, our timeline through this journey. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks, everybody.
Can I tell you a little bit about my time away, Mel?
Anita, I've been waiting for this. Please. Where can you even start?
I I don't know. I'll tell you this. We chose this place to go. It was like a youth camp. We chose this place to go because we knew somebody else who had gone there and just rave reviews. So when we got the chance to go there, we thought, oh, there'll be no chance that it has availability, but it did. So we jumped and we went to this place. It was in Roosevelt, Utah. And for those who are unfamiliar with Utah, how would you describe Roosevelt? It is a rural kind of ranching, farming, oil type of place.
It's out there.
It's out there. It's kind of in the nowhere. And there are people who live there, of course, but it's not a big bustling town. So uh we looked through their website. It looked great. It looked fantastic. We're gonna have so much fun. We get there, we pull in, and it is different than I had anticipated. There were it looked like it could have been a homeless encampment if people had found it who needed a place to stay. There were like discarded single wide trailers in the bushes and just like it stuff everywhere. There were like 30 lawnmowers, ATVs that didn't work, little playground pieces of playground equipment in piles, 5 or 6 wave runners, 3 or 4 boats, just kind of stashed in different nooks and crannies. A lot of bikes of disrepair just thrown in every bush. Yeah.
A junkyard.
Well, no, because there was an actual junkyard.
Oh,
We
oh boy.
I had talked to the owner beforehand to try and get some information, and I found him really hard to pin down. Like I had a 45-minute conversation and had no more information than I had to begin with, which I thought was interesting, but I was like, man, that guy's weird. Um, and then I met him in person, and oh my goodness, did I have so much fun because it was just like, what is happening? He had told me, I said, what are the bathroom facilities like? And he said, oh, well, we've got this toilet trailer, but the county won't license us to use it. And so I'm like, so can we use it? And he's like, well, the guy's really nice. And I'm like,
What?
so can we use it? You know, and he just would never say yes or no. He's like, well, they understand what we're trying to do here. And I'm like, okay, but can we use it? Anyway, I just was like, I don't even know. So we get there and the toilet trailer was, we used it and it was the funniest. I can't even express in words what it was like. I will give you a for instance. We walked into this, it's like a double long trailer, single wide, double long, like 2 trailers hooked together. There was like a hole dug underneath part of it that was just left kind of open, and I don't know what was going on there. There was a toilet tank just sitting on the stairs to get in. We left it there the whole week. And the girls we were with, you know how like kids they don't have mom eyes. Like they'll walk around a pile of laundry in the middle of the floor and they like don't even register it in their brains.
Oh, that's what's wrong with me.
Yes.
I have that.
Okay. The girls we were with have that too, because nobody seemed to mind the toilet tank sitting right in the walkway. It stayed there the whole time. Nobody moved it. But we get inside, and in the middle of this room, there is an upholstered pillow from a couch that's shoved up onto the ceiling, and it's held in place by a piece of loose baseboard that was wedged under the pillow between the pillow and the floor to keep the pillow in place. And we're like, why? What? And the owner finally meets up with us and he just yanks it out and he goes, oh, that's to keep the raccoons out.
Okay, okay. Nope. Wow.
Oh my goodness. There, it was just like half the stuff worked, half the stuff didn't work. It was just the funniest place. Well, He told us all the wonderful things we could do, except for the water levels way down because of a drought. And I was like, I don't care what we could do. I want to know what we can do. And he says, well, I've made you a new road to get to the beach, to the lake that they have on the property. He says, I've roughed out a road. And so I get in his truck with him and this other lady, and he just starts driving off into the trees. I'm like, this is not a road. And it was just really funny. We get to the lake. He shows us the lake. He turns around, drives off of the road he had created, and is like, whoops. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, after we'd taken this road, he had a truck and he could barely make this quote unquote road that he had made. And he's driving us to the next place he wants to show us. And he goes, I'm telling you, if you need a way to get to and from the lake, I have a minivan you can borrow.
Oh no.
I'm like, what? Like your truck couldn't even make it. He drives us over to the junkyard.
Yes.
Where there was an early model Grand Caravan that he was like, I'm serious. You can use this if you need to.
And it turned on?
Apparently. I don't know. But I see the Grand Caravan in the junkyard, and behind it I go, what about that dump truck? And he's like, oh yeah, you can use that too if you want.
Yes. I would totally use it. I don't know.
We did,
what.
Mel.
Ah.
It was just the funniest thing. This guy, I spent so much time just laughing, and just it was the funniest experience. And we had the best time. And I think that the disrepair and kind of the half-baked nature, like it's like he started on the project and then he got distracted and would, go to the next thing. And so only half the toilets worked and, all of this stuff. But it was really freeing because you didn't feel like you were going to break something, so the girls just did kind of whatever they wanted and we had the best time. And then at the very end, I was like, hey, Rick, can you bring the dump truck? And he was like, what time? So we put all of the girls in the back of the dump truck and went for a ride.
Did you ask him to dump them out
at
the end into the water? That would have been so fun.
It would have been so fun. But unfortunately, the dump truck that he brought, he had two options. He brought the blue one, and the blue one did not have a hydraulic tailgate. I don't know what. So you have to have something like, I know. You needed something that was heavy enough to open the flap on the back. So we couldn't do it. But the girls were like, we're garbage. We're all garbage. And I was like, girls, this is it's not a garbage truck. It's a dump truck. You're rocks.
You're dirt.
Gravel. Yes. But he drove us around on the property. And I was like, never again are you going to just get loaded up in a dump truck and drive around someplace. Because you can. Because why not?
I remember being a child of their age. And also I'm still probably a child. But
you didn't see the toilet on the floor. So
yeah. Those are the best things that you remember because they're just so insane.
Yes.
So I'm glad they had fun.
The insanity brought us together because we were just like, what is this place? I don't understand what's happening right now. And the pillow in the ceiling and there was a lot of things like that too. I told Mel there was a mannequin in one of the trailers and she's like, it's a murder scene. This is not good. You got to get out.
I'm like, this sounds like the Fox Hollow murders, but that's anyway, whatever.
But I was like, it was only the top half. Does that matter? It was only the top half of the mannequin?
I think it half matters at that point.
Okay.
So this also sounds like Clark Griswold could have been a part of this.
Oh, the funny thing is that as I was driving around with this guy, I was like, this is a combination of my dad, my father-in-law, my grandpa. It just was kind of he was so quirky.
What would happen if Randy Randall and Rick met?
It would be a match made in heaven. I'm telling you. It just, except for that my dad has a little bit more, he's very safety conscious. And so he would not leave some of the things they were just left, dig a hole and then just leave it. And there were live electrical boxes just shoved in trees. And then the wires would wrap around the branches to another tree. We had to have a special meeting to say, if you see any wires, don't touch them.
Oh my gosh. I feel like Randy Randall would have looked at the pillow in the ceiling with the thing stuck in it and he would say, let me get you a drawing and I can fix this. And then he would go make a
Uh-huh.
rendering and then he would make pieces
Yep.
with his pipe maker thing.
Yep.
And then he would show up and it would be made of lots of steel and things and he'd fix it.
He would fix it, and he would fix it before you are ready for it to be fixed. Because once he gets his mind like on a project, it's going to be done. Like he can't stop until it's finished. So I actually think Rick needs some of Randy's help because while we were talking to Rick, Rick kept saying like, "Oh, I got to go do that. I got to go do that." And he had a list of like 50 things that he was going to go do. And I was like, "Rick, honey, you're not going to do any of those
Nope.
things." He's like, "I got to go divert the river and screen out the pond, and I got to put some gravel in this thing, and I got to trim these weeds, and I got, and I was like, mm-mm. Oh, and he had horses, and he says, eventually, we're going to use these horses and give the kids rides because city kids love horses. And so he's like, let's go take a look at the horses. So we get out of the truck and we walk up to the fence and the horses all run away. I mean, just like run away. And he goes, oh, they don't like people.
Oh
I
my
got to get down. I got to get down here and I got to work with them. And I'm like, after you divert the river and screen the pond and make the road and trim the trees and finish the bathroom.
Anita, I feel like Rick would be me if I had money to buy property and just like good intentions. That's how it would turn out.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's not okay.
I think Rick is a gazillionaire, and I think he has all these great intentions, but
You showed me a picture of him and he didn't look at all like I thought for someone
No.
that had that property.
he told us too. He goes, and I got a plan if I kick the bucket. And me as a widow, I was like, I'm glad to hear that. He's like, my wife knows the number of the scrap metal guy and the auctioneer. And he's like, but she won't have to sell any land because the residuals will keep her going. But she probably will sell some land. I'm like, okay.
But do they have life insurance and does she have all his passwords? That's all I'd need to know.
I don't think he has any passwords. I don't think that's the life he's living. I'm sure he does.
But like you're saying maybe he's completely off grid.
I think he might be offline. No, he probably is not.
I mean, they have a website. You booked it.
That's true, but it went down before, like the day before we left, so I couldn't find the address. I'm like, hey, your website stopped working. I now think that he was trying to hide the photos so I couldn't look at them more carefully because I went back and looked at all the photos and I was like, oh, you can see a trailer in the very back of that photo. But
wow, I'm jealous. And I'm glad that you made it back alive and that you had fun and the girls
and I
had
got
fun.
to ride in a dump truck.
That's pretty epic.
It was pretty epic.
I've never ridden in a dump truck. You just keep like doing amazing things, Anita. Man.
We're garbage. I'm like, no.
No.
What
Dirt.
are you talking? You're dirt. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm back. Now tomorrow my boys are going backpacking to Kings Peak, which is the highest mountain in Utah. And it's unseasonably cold right now. And so I'm a little bit nervous. And so that should be interesting. But I'm not going with them
It went from 98 degrees
to 60.
this morning. When I was outside, it said 49.
Yeah. The high is like 60 today. So
Which is pretty nice comparatively, but it's kind of strange.
it's nice at this elevation. But once
Yeah.
you get to like 13, 14,000 feet, then it's not so nice anymore.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty rude.
yeah.
Well,
Should be
okay.
fun.
Anito,
Yes.
I have some discussion that we can talk about.
Okay, let's do it.
On the heels of the question that you posed last week and the feedback that we got, I thought it would be interesting to talk about us looking back in the early-ish, maybe, I don't know, maybe the first half of this journey. I'm calling
Okay.
it journey. For those who hate the word journey, sorry, I don't have another word. Journey. And then the second kind of half and where we are now will be kind of the now. So
Okay.
we're going to go through some different topics and remember what we were doing with them then and what we do now. And let's see if any of them have translated for the whole time. Or maybe they're totally different.
This is like those, where are the celebrities now?
Yes. Where's the child actor now?
Yes, exactly. And you're like, they're bankrupt and they work at a Subway. So,
Okay, I want to go first. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay. What types of TV shows or movies did you watch then? And what do you watch now? Hey guys, just checking in and want to say if you are enjoying this podcast,
And you want to see it keep going, maybe it's helped you through your widowhood journey and you think that it might help others on their widowhood journey, you can support that cause by joining our Patreon.
some of the things that you get as a Patreon beneficiary are ad-free episodes, so you don't have to hear ads like this.
You also get exclusive content, and at a certain level, you might also get an exclusive t-shirt you can only get that place.
That is true. It's pretty cool. There are 4 different tiers available, so check it out. It's patreon.com/WWDN.
And as an extra bonus, very often you get your names read by one of my kids, and they will do a terrible job with the pronunciation. And that's like a bonus, I think.
I think it's kind of the best. I would much rather hear somebody butcher my name than say it correctly.
A child butcher it than an adult do it correctly. Yep. So go to patreon.com/WWDN to keep our podcast going and support the widowed cause.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
You know what's going to really be terrible is if I'm like, I can't remember. I don't remember any of that time. I do remember in the beginning, it was all vapid. There was like not a lot of watching anything that would make me feel any feelings or that would stress me out or was too deep. It was a lot of like Love Island, Say Yes to the Dress. Well, maybe not that one so much. Maybe
Well,
a little
you
bit.
watched that one when you had your surgery, and
That's
wasn't
right,
that
that's right.
pretty close to the...
Yeah, yeah. I will say that now, well, oh wait, go back to then. I did try and find griefy shows. Like I wanted to watch the Netflix shows that were supposed to be about grief. Most of them just, I was like, no, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I did seek them out.
Okay.
Like I wanted to see myself in movies and shows. Now I still don't want to watch anything that's going to make me feel feelings too much. So I'm still looking for things that are just like easy to watch, aren't going to stress me out. But I can do a little bit more. Like if I want to watch something that has deeper meaning, I can do it. Before I probably couldn't do it. A lot of politics now.
Oh
is what I
gosh.
listen to. I know that's
no
your favorite, Mel.
thanks. No.
And yeah, that's my answer. What about
Okay.
you?
I was the same as you in the beginning where I didn't want to watch anything that had feelings. And it's not that I didn't want to. Well, I didn't want to, but I couldn't because my body couldn't handle it and my nervous system couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So maybe I would watch some like crime documentaries before. For the first like 6 months after Scott died, I couldn't watch those. And then I started being able to, if it was
Like true crime things? Is that what you're
yeah,
talking
like
about?
Dateline or something like that. And then I did start watching them again because I would watch what it was like for the victims' families. And I felt like I could empathize in a, even though I hadn't been through the same thing, I'm just like the rawness of what they felt. I could almost be more empathetic for them, toward them.
Do you sort of feel like when you're watching that, like you're watching it for them? You're like, hey, you guys who are like in the suffering, I see you. I understand.
Sometimes, but I also really am curious on the psychology, and it's like, why? Why? How did this happen, or why? But yeah, and then also during that first 6 months where everything hurt, this is kind of embarrassing. I could only watch Disney stuff, like Aladdin. So it's almost like stuff that was for little 5 to 10-year-old Mel. That was the stuff that didn't hurt me.
Which is so funny because Disney has so many like dead parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then I realized that, and because you keep watching, and then there's more. So I would try to watch the most benign things, and then now what I watch is a ton of comedy. And right now I always loved Dick Van Dyke. He's the best ever. The Dick Van Dyke Show. I think I've watched that. I'm like a Nick at Night kid, so I watched it back then whenever it was on. But I mean, gosh, I know 2 years ago starting in May. I was already watching it, but I remember I watched it for 9 months solid every day. Nothing else. Nothing.
Huh.
So that, and then I discovered Conan
Oh, you are in
O'Brien.
love with Conan.
I'm in love with his show. He's hilarious because he's just so, it's like, what? But some of the stuff that they do on his show, that like his travel show on HBO, just
Yeah.
makes me laugh so hard because it's just so dumb and out there. So I like those things. I've revisited 30 Rock. So kind of I'm more in the comedy. Abbott Elementary is right now, and I love it so much. I'm like learning how to understand comedic writers better and appreciate comedy. So that's my phase I'm in right now.
Hey, here's a question. You just said it, and I kind of wonder, are you more likely now to watch the same things over and over and over again or to try something new? Because I find myself like when I'm feeling bummed, I just want to watch like the same thing that I already know I like
Okay, I have an
and
answer.
rewatch it. Okay.
I always have my old trustees that no
Hmm.
matter what, I go to them. It's usually Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
And but I am starting to watch some new shows. Like I started The Gilded Age yesterday.
I haven't watched that one. But
And
you told
that's
me to watch The Mortician.
oh, you guys.
I started on it.
Oh,
I'm like a little bit into the first episode and I'm just like, why are there I just listened to a podcast about this too. Why are there so many like crazy funeral home stories all of a sudden?
because there's nobody to watch you do the crime. You guys don't watch The Mortician on HBO if you are fresh and everything hurts you, or if you're going to be
'Cause
triggered
you'll want
by.
to punch somebody in the eyeball, face, neck.
We probably want to punch the people that were responsible for all the harm that they did to the relatives of, the
Yeah.
deceased in the story. But yeah, it's about a crooked mortician basically and police things. So
I haven't
yeah,
gotten too far into it, so I only know a little bit.
I did
So
start watching that because I didn't know if it was a scripted show or documentary, and then I realized it was a documentary. I don't really like scripted crime shows. It made me think of Drew, actually. Drew Bott, remember, that did Anita's headstone, you guys? I'm sure he knows tons of stories about people like this, but when he was talking about a lot of stuff that the funeral industry can scam you on, I
like
thought
the
of
shady
him.
stuff. Have you listened to that podcast about the Colorado funeral home? It's
No,
similar. I'll send
no.
it to you.
Okay.
It's called like Noble, I think.
Huh. No.
Is it called? Okay, you
Send
got to
it to
listen
me.
to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Same
curious.
same type of a deal where you're just like, what?
Let's
What?
help everybody and ourselves be
What?
aware of the
I don't know.
dumb
Maybe we don't
stuff.
need, like Mel
I
said, don't listen to those if you're still like really sensitive and fresh and because
yeah,
it's not, you don't need that in your life.
no. I'm fine. If I never watched it, I would still be fine.
Okay.
So you don't really need to, but you can if you want.
Okay.
Next.
So, yes. All right, Mel. So, compared early days to nowadays, what about routines?
Ugh. Okay. I've never been great at a routine, but I did notice that during the first part of the ick, that the things like straightening the pillow, first of all, getting my feet off the floor or off my bed onto the floor and thinking, okay, I can go to the bathroom. And after I go to the bathroom, I'm going to wipe up the counter or make my bed. And then that helped me. And I did fairly well at kind of adding on to those routines. Now, that's not at all the first like year and a half for me at all. Because I was kind of in bed, like dying, sad death until then. But when I was able to start doing stuff, that was helpful. Before that, it was like, can you eat at all? Nope, I can't. But when I did start getting a routine, it was starting with those things. And I feel like in some ways, because I wasn't working as much and I didn't have as much pressure to do things like that, that I was able to let myself focus more on routine. Now that I am working more, I have a hard time with routine because my thoughts are filled with, I have to do this arrangement. I have to go up here. I have to drive this and it's going to take this long. I have to edit. I have to, and my routine always just goes away. So I've tried to just the last month to try to be better about that. And I do pretty well if when I get up, like I'll let the dogs out, feed them, and then I read a little bit of a book. And my eyes don't work great with absorbing information, like I know a lot of widows have said, but I kind of take that as a challenge. And so I'll, even if it's just 2 paragraphs, I'll do that. So that's my routine right now. It's still really hard. I feel like the more back into normal life I get, the harder time I have with routine. What about
Funny.
you?
It's funny because we're kind of similar in that like I'm bad at routines and I think it would really help me to be better at routines, but I just like my brain just doesn't function in routines. Like I just like to do things when I want to do them and then I forget them all the time because I didn't have a routine. So,
Yeah. And
oops.
it's hard for me too when my work is so strange anyway. Like we talked
Yeah.
about last week, it's like you're going to go now work on a holiday, or you're working for 12 days solid, or you don't have to be
Yeah.
somewhere till
There's
6
no
p.m.
routine to your
Or
job.
here you have to leave at 6 a.m. And it's like, I can't even get, I can't. And I'm noticing when I was younger, I was better at like, oh, I got to get up. And as soon as I get up, I'd get a drink of water and I go out on a walk. And now it's like, no, I have to have at least like 4 or 5 hours in the morning free, and then I can do exercise before I leave. And if not, then it's over. Anita, I hear we have a store.
Oh, we sure do. We've actually had it for quite a while. It's called the Snarky Grief Shop, and it's where you will find all of our best grief merch. That is, yes, a little snarky. For instance, it's where you will find the official widow card that you can pull and use at your convenience.
You can put it in your wallet, and anytime you need to use it, pull it out, play the widow card.
Yeah, we have glow-in-the-dark stickers. We have shirts that say, "Be nice, my husband is dead." We also have the ones that are not quite as jarring, so that you can wear them out in public and not feel weird. But sometimes you need that shirt.
I wear my Be Nice, My Husband is Dead to bed because I'm a little scared to go in public with it. But you've worn it on airplanes before with your kids.
Yeah, every time we go to the airport, I wear that shirt because I'm just like, listen, I got to get all these kids through security. Just be nice to me. Thank you so much. And it's worked for the most part.
Some of the less snarky grief shirts are podcast shirts or Widow Wives Club. We also have Resilient AF, right, Anita? What else we got in there?
Yeah, which we're telling everybody who cares, like Mel's mom, that means American fork because she can't know what it really means, guys.
Yeah.
Stickers and mugs and notebooks and just cool stuff that you can use to express your snarky grief. You'll find it by going to our website, shop.widowwedonow.com. There's a lot of W's in there, so just make sure that you've counted them and there's the right number.
We will link to that in the show notes, and it's also in our app, which you can get from the App Store. Can people get it from our regular website too?
Yes, if you go to widowwedonow.com, there's a link for the shop in there too.
Great. If you'd like to show your snark or have something a little more subtle, go ahead and check that out. Again, that's
shop.widowwedonow.com. I have a few things that like I do and they're routine and it's good for me to have those. I don't actually think that in the beginning, I don't really think I increased my sense of routine at all. Um, I almost feel like now it's less chaotic than it was then, but that's I think more to do with my kids and how old they were and their like where they're coming and going and their needs. So yeah, I don't know that it has changed too much for me or that I ever like used it. I think like I listened to you and I'm like, oh, that's such a smart like coping strategy. Like that would have been smart. I do wake up and I always do the Wordle connections and the mini. That's usually the first thing that I do in the morning.
Nice.
And
I did that when you told me about it, and I noticed that for me, when I have my phone and then my phone is part of my routine, I get so distracted.
oh yeah.
Hence the analog book, and I can't do the like reading a book on an iPad. I don't know, and it hurts my eyes. So
Yeah.
I want the Wordle to be part of my routine, but then I Just
You're smart though, because if you can
deviate.
keep your phone out of your hands, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's hard. Whatever. I guess we can't avoid phones. And look, you do have a routine, Anita.
Yeah, not a very helpful one, but something. It helps me like wake up in the morning because I hate wake up in the morning so much.
I love sleeping a
I do
lot.
too.
I noticed that it's harder for me to make sure my dogs have all of the attention and activities that used to do with them when they were younger and I was fresher in grief because in my mind I was like my life is over and this is now my full-time thing what I do.
Mm.
So the dogs did agility classes, we would go on hikes, we would do this and that and now I'm like, okay, now there's three of you.
Just give them an iPad now. That's what I did with mine. I was like, I give up.
Okay, you're gonna laugh. I actually do turn on my iPad with the 24-hour dog calming music if I have to be gone for a long time. So I
The
do.
dog calming.
Yeah.
What?
They have dog calming music.
But is
Well,
it like dogs singing to each other? Is it just music that like any living
that
being would find calming?
the
Okay,
second thing. And then there's pictures of pets on the screen.
that's hilarious.
I know. Okay, Anita, here's the next question. What were things like for you then with food and now with food?
Okay, in the beginning, no food. I think like that's standard,
What is the
right?
beginning? Like a month?
Like, yeah, probably like 6 months where it was like just not eating, like can't eat, have to mechanically eat.
Hmm.
Um, and then after that, probably eating bad for me things, which has lasted until now, to be honest. It's really interesting because we used to be a very like sit down and eat family dinner together, and you have to have two vegetables on your plate. And now I'm like, let's just go to McDonald's. Like, I'm just tired. And it's very opposite of what it used to be for like my family and I. And I have to like constantly be like, okay, you need to eat like a vegetable. But I like licorice better. So
Okay, that tracks.
you've had a whole lots of things
I've
on
had a
food.
rainbow of food
Yeah.
things. Yep, like everybody, no eating. I couldn't for the first little bit, but then I went totally the other way and it was Lucky Charms and pie all day long. I gained 30 pounds. Don't regret it still. It was great. I needed it. And then it was like the keto diet or something for my migraines and inflammation. And then that helped me to kind of deal with those issues. But what it did is it dissociated my relationship from food altogether because there was like no sugar, nothing that was like, here's a spark of
Of
dopamine in your
joy.
brain. Yeah. And then that lasted for years where I had a hard time. I still have a hard time, but then, and I would try to eat smart. I don't know. Yeah, mine is really complex and all over the place. And I then it's like my body shut down a couple of years ago. Probably, I'm sure, from stress, from lots of things. And I could eat certain things and I was making healthy choices, but then my body would say, we are done now. And it would be like half of the food. So then fast forward, they put me on Adderall, which helped me to be
Which
able
is
to.
opposite.
It's opposite. They tell you that it normally makes you not want food. And so they said, bring protein shakes with you all day. And just, you're going to forget to eat. And instead, it gave me my hunger cues back. So it saved my life, actually. It's almost like my brain was just like dead and off. And so it's kind of helped me to be able to like function normally. And now I still have a hard time caring about food, but I get hungry, so I have to eat. And I try to eat the healthy thing, like high protein, lower
You eat
carbs.
a vegetable.
Um, no, because actually I have some new issues in the last couple of years to where things like vegetables that are supposed to help you with your digestion, they actually do the opposite. So I'm trying to figure that out with a doctor. Certain fruits, I have fruit and yogurt or fruit and cottage cheese or rice and beans, and it's weird. There's like three things that I can eat, and it's good for my blood sugar levels and all that, but it's very limited. It's hard. It's really hard.
Eat a cucumber, Mel. It'll make you feel better.
That was
about your
actually
life.
the worst thing for it
Really,
made
the
my
cucumber?
yes, I ate just like a little bit of cucumbers and my whole stomach went whoo. I was playing at Wicked and I had to
That's usually
unbutton my
like
pants.
broccoli. Broccoli
I
is
know.
usually the worst.
I had to unbutton my pants while I was playing Wicked and like I just put my shirt over and
Yeah.
then it stayed big. My stomach just stayed big for like 3 hours, even driving home. It was
But
weird.
then did you fart all the way home and
No, I
told
don't.
everybody?
I don't remember.
Okay.
'Kay.
So you're working through that. Got it.
I guess. Disaster for me. I'm just all over the place and you're eating candy
And a vegetable
and a vegetable.
every so often.
Okay.
Twice weekly.
Yes.
Joking, but not really. What about you said that you've been reading books. How has your like book reading and like how you partake of them changed?
Ooh. I was ravenous for information on the brain and grief and trauma back in the first part. And I'd read it in little chunks or read it over and over, and I would take notes. And that helped me to get into my routine as well. And it gave me a lot of information. It was like helpful to learn things. And then as life got more normal-ish, I stopped reading. And now I'm starting to read again for my routine. So it's severely diminished, but I'm trying it again. And I like to have a book that's kind of serious or like you're learning about a topic, and then I like to have one that's just for funsies. So
Yeah.
like I got this one, it's like Nordic fairy tales
What?
about trolls. That's my
That's
for
fun.
fun book where it's like I need to do something with my eyes that's not my phone. I'm going to do this. But I'm not consistent either.
Do you know about like Icelandic death metal or like Norse death metal, like that genre of music? You heard of
No.
that? It's like a whole thing.
Oh gosh.
You need to look it up.
No, but if you guys watch Conan O'Brien's travel show and they go to Norway, he sings a song in Norwegian.
Okay.
Well, a Norwegian pop artist EDM song thing. It's my favorite thing. I want it to be my ringtone. It's about
Remember when
salmon
that was
in
the
the
thing.
sea.
Remember when you used to like buy ringtones?
Yeah, did you know I think the new updates are coming out for phones for Apple?
And
And finally you can use an MP3. Like
Oh.
like I think
they
Android
should have
has
done
been
that
able to do.
100 years ago. Yeah.
Someone was like, "Okay, here's all the updates that are coming now. That should have happened in 2018."
Mm-hmm.
Do you read books ever?
I know how. Yes. I used to be a big like I used to read a ton before Jason died, and then it was like zip, no reading. Like I couldn't. I just couldn't. My brain couldn't remember things. My brain just didn't have the ability. I would like read the same paragraph over and over. I could do audiobooks, and audiobooks for me are fantastic too because when I go for a run or for a ride, I'll just like put in an audiobook and listen to it. But I find myself also just wanting to do ones that I already know I like listen to the same thing over and over again. Now I'm more likely to listen to a podcast than I am a whole book. It's so much less commitment,
Mm-hmm.
like an hour or whatever than it is a however long book. So,
16 hours.
you know what? The other thing is that so many people will recommend books to me and I've listened to them and I'm like, I didn't like that. Have you heard of the book Under the Whispering Door?
No.
So it was like super popular last year or 2 years ago. And it's like death adjacent. Anyway, because like Under the Whispering Door, like anyway, I can't even explain it, but it was very popular and everybody's like, oh, you have to read this because it's about like crossing over and dead people. And I read it and I was like, ew, no, I didn't like that at all. Also, lessons in chemistry. Everybody was like,
What?
oh, it's so good. It was the book of the year, the Barnes and Noble book of the year, has a widow in it. And I was like, ugh, no, I hated both of them. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I usually don't like recommendations that the general public likes, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we have problems. Well, we do.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. So there you go.
All right.
That's my answer.
Great. What about activities?
Hmm. I mean, we all know that it was like go, go, go from the beginning with me and not with a very good routine either, just like whenever it happened. Um,
Like for
now,
fun things.
oh, not for like exercise,
Well, it can be exercise, but it can also be
fun
for
things.
fun.
Well, I know that in the beginning, I was like, we can never go on adventures or do fun things with my family again. And now I'm like, let's do all the fun things. And so I'm really excited that that's come back to a certain extent. And now I'm a little bit sad because I feel like that chapter is going to close a little bit more as like my oldest just graduated and she's going to have a job and be going to school. And it won't be like I can just be like, hey, we're going to go somewhere. Like she'll be like, I can't go, like.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go to work or I have finals or I have to go to school. So I don't know. I hope we can do as much of it as we can because I find that
Are you
fun.
gonna cry?
No,
Okay.
bowling.
Did you
Just kidding.
bowl before
No,
and now you bowl after?
neither, neither.
Okay.
Like once a year we go bowling. So
Okay. What
yeah,
about you, your own personal routine? You've always been good at exercising, and those are
yeah,
fun for you. So,
yeah. It is fun for me. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things that I even do for fun, and I don't even know if there are things. I used to do more things. Like I used to play in a volleyball league, and I used to do my cookie decorating, and I don't do. I'm more like narrow of focus, I would say now than I used to be.
do you think that that's solely attributed to widowhood, or is it also the age that your kids are
Yeah,
and parenting?
that's a good question. I don't know that I can answer that.
Okay.
The like going on adventures, I think, is kind of a direct um result of widowhood because I look back at the times that we went on a vacation as families or just with Jason, and I'm like, I'm so glad we did that. Like, you just want to have as many memories as you can. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to try and get all the memories in case anybody dies,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. So,
Yeah.
what about you?
Let's see. I was in the car accident before Scott died, so I was not skiing like I was. Actually, I couldn't ski at all for a couple of years. And that was one thing that I did. And that has since resurfaced because my body is able to now. Uh, I don't know if work counts as activities, but I did quit a lot of the work that I was doing because I wanted to do a different direction. I didn't want to just take every single gig, no matter what, like feel like I had to take every gig. And now I'm very, very, very selective. And that's something that's different. And then you guys all know about roller skating and skateboarding, which, by the way, I got my roller skates out yesterday. And I feel like since I had the hysterectomy and now all the yucky is out and everything is healed and it's been like 2 years or something, I feel like my body's like, I can do this again. So I just was kind of worried for a while. And skateboarding, you stand on the board and at least you can kind of surf. But I've gained those since the death and I've kept them since the death. And I don't know. Tennis. I had tennis before, but then my dad was my buddy and he died. So I did play with one
Yeah,
of
and
my
all
neighbors.
the
And
tennis place that you used to play at like closed at. But haven't you started playing
yes,
pickleball?
yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I do play pickleball now. I started a couple of years ago and I was very confused by it because of tennis background and I didn't even know what to do. And then I eventually figured out I didn't have to have a bad attitude about pickleball just because I learned tennis and I liked tennis. And now I like pickleball.
I kind of love the like feud between tennis and pickleball. Like I like to watch because I have no stake in either, and
Mhm.
I'm like fight, 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 fight. Kind of
So
makes me laugh.
funny. Once I figured out, don't think of this as tennis. Think of this a mix of ping
Ping
pong
pong.
and something else, like a party game, then it's okay. And then, because what was so frustrating, you spend so long in tennis trying to perfect your grip or your serve and the angle and the spin and the footwork and it's all these drills. And then you go to play pickleball and it's like you can just stand there and hit it. I mean, you can also, I do like pickleball for the reason that it's entry point for anybody.
Yeah. It's the
So,
same as an e-bike for bikes.
yes.
Like
Okay.
it lowers the entry point, and so more people can participate, which is probably a good thing. But then
Yeah.
the purists are like, you didn't earn it.
Yeah, and I was like that before with the tennis. And I was mad because they were taking away the tennis courts and turning them to pickleball. So it's like, hey, how about you have like both? Or can you have movable pickleball nets so that you can turn a tennis court into two, you know? And so that's what made me so mad. But then I started playing, and after I was playing and was still having a bad attitude and confused about what it was, then I saw the benefit that it was to me and my friends. Because I'm in charge of the old man group, all my musician friends. Like I'm the oldest of the old men, and so we're all rhythm section players, and it's gotten us out. And so through the years, I've watched some of those friends, and it's like, you know, we all work in our own little studio in the dark cave, and it's like we talked about let's play tennis, but then no one did. But then once pickleball happened, that kind of sparked everybody, and it's gotten all of us out, and it's been a really good and social thing. So I've noticed
Yeah,
the
it's a super social
benefit.
activity too.
Yeah. So not to be cliche, but pickleball is pretty great, I have to say. And you can love tennis and be a tennis purist and still love pickleball. By the way, did you know that Steffi Graf and Andre Agassi play pickleball now?
No.
You can watch them play, who was it? I think is it Maria Sharapova? Who's the guy that used to yell all the time?
Oh, John McEnroe.
And John McEnroe. And I've never seen so much happiness and smiling faces from John McEnroe, actually from all of them. So it's kind of cool to watch them as ex-pro tennis players make the same mistakes that all of us normal people make with pickleball. And they're smiling. So 10 points for pickleball. I love tennis
10
still.
points to Gryffindor.
But
So there's a pickleball court kind of by our house. It's not actually by our house at all, but there are people at the pickleball courts from like 5 in the morning until midnight every day. Like they are always packed. It's crazy. Crazy.
I've never
How
played
much
with
people-
you. Do you want to play sometime?
Yes. Also, I have another proposition.
Is it going to be a widow pickleball tournament?
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That was not going to be my proposition. My proposition is I want to go to that fake surfing place.
I want to go there too.
Let's go. Let's try it.
It's called Provo Beach.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
There's another
but
one.
I'm sure that it's the same Wave Rider or something like that.
I've been trying to get my friend Brianna to go with me for 4 years, and it's not happened. Anita,
Okay,
we're
let's
going to
go.
do it. I'm ready.
I want to try it. I'll probably be bad at it, but I still want to try it. Thank you. Okay.
Hey, Auntie Marie is a real surfer. So,
I know.
hey, Auntie Marie, if we can surf at like the fake surfing, will you teach us to real surf?
I think the hard thing about
I
real
just can't
surfing
get up.
Getting up. Yeah, is getting so. Anyway, then so we'll start at the fake surfing and then we'll go to get lessons with Auntie Marie. Sound
Yeah.
good?
And then
Okay.
we'll play pickleball and suck. And then we can go to her garden and do a concert.
Yes. This all sounds like a plan. Okay.
Wow, this has been a really productive episode. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for for your responses to last week's question, which prompted us to look at this week's question.
Yeah. We talk about this every week, but we're going to talk about it again. If you want to keep the podcast going, check out our Patreon. It really does allow us to keep going. We have to pay for things to make the podcast happen. It also allows us to put more time and effort into the podcast. So it's patreon.com/WWDN. We're so thankful for the people who support us.
And we know it's annoying to hear about it all the time, but this is actually a free podcast. So there you go. There's that. And some of you that emailed us or that commented in the Widow Wives Club appreciated thanks for us not putting you in a business sales funnel and stuff like that, like a regular business would. So we like
Can we get them in a funnel? Should we
do
get them in a funnel?
it only if it's fun, like a slide, like a water slide.
Yes. Have you been on those? That like
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do that after the fake surfing.
a business funnel, a
Okay.
business waterside funnel. Okay.
So anyway, yeah, the donations that you guys send in help us to do that. And for those who haven't been able to or don't want to or just haven't donated, you can give thanks to those who do donate. So later, we're going to do the Patreon shout out. But before that, please join the Widow Wives Club. It's on Facebook. That's where everybody meets a lot of friends, and you can really connect with people and commiserate and share wins and all those fun things.
Yeah. And always, it's nice if you give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's nice. It helps the algorithms in ways we don't understand, but it does. And that's about it.
And Anita's tired and she needs a nap because she
do.
got back from camp.
My Adventures with Rick. I started singing that. We're fun, but tiring, and I need a nap. Anyways, all right. We'll talk to you again when we talk to you again. Right, Mel?
Yep. Thanks, guys. We love you. And
I'm Anita.
I'm Mel.
We're two young widows. One of us spent a week at a wow. And the other one just couldn't wait to hear about it. And we're all just trying to figure out what.
And one of us that went to a camp also found at the said camp a rope swing on a cherry picker.
Yep. We're just trying to figure out widow.
We
do
now.
Welcome to the Patreon shoutout. Barbara Schneeberger, Constance Bell, Kimberly Moreno, Krista Waite, Kristen Pollock, Maya Glasser, Neil Hooper, Karen Cornejo, Alexis King Audello, Amy Martell, Ashley Hahn, Brandy Younger, Chris Steffen, Connie Remich, David Kelly, Don Satterwhite, Deborah Nilek, Dennis Brozo, Jen O'Brien, Jen Turk, Jenny Armstrong, Jennifer Brown, Karen Lindsay, Luke Lawson, Maria Hoffman, Meg Martell, Patricia West, Sunshine Haven, Alicia McAllister, Alicia Lynn, Amy Burke, Ann Trennan, Anna Tracy, Audrey Henniger, Brittany Barnett, Brittany Cruz, Kathy Mazzeta, Christine Anderson, Cindy Rayno, Dawn Barber, Deborah Westwood, Deirdre Gronin, welcome, Darius Rachel, Eric Vandermeulen, Gabe Lozano, Gia Benoit, Gina Haas, Jackie Coyle, Jan Seeley, Jane, Janelle Blessing, Jen Lundberg, welcome, Jennifer Davis, Jennifer Sanders, Jenny Barrow, Jenny Dippold, Jessica All, Jessica Burke, Johansson Williams, Johanna Jenkins, Judy Malkin, Karen Ochoa, Carol Schultz, Kathy Murray, Katie Saucier, Kimberly Shelody, Kara Vinson, Laura Keeley, Laura C., Linda, Lindsay Kanopka, Marianne Hammond, Marianne McDonald, Megan Ramsey, Melissa Bowers, Mintu McGurn, Missy Muhlstein, Rachel Tang, Rebecca Olmaker, Becky Ziba, Rita B. Welcome. CZ Dunnigan, Terry Huston. Welcome. Trenton Townsend. New Accent Wendy. Thank you.
Mel,
Yeah,
we have a major announcement to make.
go for it.
Did you know that right now all plans on Mint Mobile are what?
$15 a month.
Okay, that's truly ridiculous. Do you know how much regular cell phones are?
Yep.
$1 bazillion a month. 15 is less than that.
New customers get 3 months of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month if you sign up right now. And guess what? I use it. I love it. I've used it all over the country, all over the world, and it's great. And if you're wondering about phones, they have those available as well, or you can just port your own number and your current phone over to Mint Mobile. They make it so easy.
So if people are interested in trying out Mint Mobile, how can they go about doing that?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. And you know, it's interesting. When my dad died, we actually put his phone on a Mint Mobile plan because it kept his number going, but it was $15 a month. So there you go. And there's different storage plans, but you might as well just get the unlimited because it's $15 a month.
Absolutely. All right, go try it today.
That's trymintmobile.com/WWDN.